gets to the core of the man.
Amen.
Hoo-ha!
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 Who are we?
Men.
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 Thank you. I'm done. That's it from my side. Guys, my name is Ayanda Dubula. I am not an expert of your wife. You are an expert of your wife. Preparing this during the week, there was a conversation that we had, and one of the guys said, hey, I hope they bring aspects, but I'm not an expert. I'm not. I am just a man who loves living life. I'm just a man who loves my wife. Okay. And with that being said, I'm not an expert. I don't know how you sheltered your wife.
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Also, sort of translation, propose your wife. Sorry. Share. I just want to ask, how did you shelter your wife?
It's a long story, Chief.
It's a long story.
But cut it short, Inje. There are those aspects that you did. There are those words that you said. There are those things that you showed. How did you shelter your wife?
I think you can ask those who are still fresh. Ask me. Just to propose.
Okay, mine.
It's gonna be a long day.
Yeah, mine was.
If before you go.
Yeah.
Before you go.
Okay.
Because I know yours.
Okay.
How did you propose your wife?
I remember one sentence.
Yes, sir.
I said, I love you and I want to enter into marriage with you.
Okay.
Go and pray
Okay.
about this and come and bring the answer.
Okay.
And I think she took 6 months.
Praying about it.
Yeah. So the day she said to me, I have a confirmation. I also love you because I saw something you love God also.
Yes. Yes. They saw something in you.
Yeah. So she didn't just say yes, but she said she saw something in me that I love God. And she believed that I can be a man that I can share her life with. I see so many things said in me, but she said 2 things, but the rest, those two. There's a future in me, and I love God.
And that period, that 6 months period, guys, can you think
It's
about it?
waiting.
Waiting. I mean, that's January to July. Yeah? That's a long time. That's a long time to wait. How did you share? Me? Yes.
Sure. I think I remember the one thing that I always used to tell her that, there's no other man better than me because the best.
Yeah.
So when I bought things for her, I showed up, I followed up, I called, I went to see her. So, I think I did everything that a man should do to make sure, to show the love that, you love her. and
Everything that a man should do.
yeah, I think. But I was naturally though, was 20 next, and then I believe that because, like I said, it takes money for you to go to see her. It takes money to buy gifts. It takes money to make phone calls, you know. And I also believe that as a man, you should shower your wife or your girlfriend with all gifts, and you know, as a sign to say yes, I can spend all that I have that I have for you, and as a man, I can take care of you. There's a future for us. So I don't think any as a women falls for people who are broke. So as sad as it is, but when you are broke, you mustn't even think of having a wife, because then it means, you know, you inviting her to starve, and yeah, that's how I did it. Money, time, and being there.
Money, time, and being there, showing up.
Sure.
Patiently so. No, I hear what you say. How did you share?
So, yeah, I'm too strategic for my own good. Unfortunately, I didn't have money. So I had to work with what I had. But in a nutshell, with my strategy, it was I studied her. I had to understand what she wants. I had to understand what she is looking for in a man. And I had to evaluate myself to see whether I can deliver to that or not. So it became a continuous evaluation of myself of, Tawang, are you really capable of doing this? Are you capable of taking care of this person? Because in contrary, in my understanding, money is a subset. There are other things that come to it in terms of taking care of a woman. So within that list, I did what I could, and what I couldn't, I made it clear that I'm disadvantaged here. Also with I am a student, but this is what I want to become. So one thing that attracted her was the vision that I have for myself and for the family that I would like to have. So I have seen that women want to be, or other wives, they want to be part of something great, which was what I had to deliver to her. That this is what I want to become. Can you please come with me? So giving her that, it made her buy in by saying, I want to be part of what you are talking about. And if you stay true to me, I will always support you. So that was the discussion that came up.
Strategic.
I had
Show
to
the
discuss
vision.
it.
She must see that in there. Huh?
And just one thing I forgot to mention. When I was young and handsome,
Believe you, never looking at you. You still handsome. You still handsome.
so you know, when you grow up, you have many potentials. You know, and I remember praying at one time to say, can I at least have someone who will love me for who I am? You know, and someone who's intelligent than I am. And that's when I met my wife, because she was smarter than me. She was outgoing, and she had all the right things at the right places. And you know, but the one thing I wanted to emphasize is I prayed for her. And you know, from time to time I still remind her to say, you know, when you pray, you say, and out of the 10 things that I asked for, I would say I confidently saw there's 8 things. You know, and then she was the first person that I took to my parents to say, this is my potential wife. And but yeah, I remember that praying for her is one of the things that's and
Intentionally so.
yeah, and I mean, I've been with her now for 20 years.
20 years.
For 20 years.
Amen. Amen. So, that's a long time.
So I played for
That's a
him.
long time.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when you say 20 years, I mean, you've been together with your wife ever since I was born, my guy. So if I was your little brother, I would only know her.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, that's powerful. So guys, my point is,
You said you'll do me last time.
yeah,
Just waiting for his
Yeah,
chance.
waiting for my turn.
yeah, don't worry, I'll do you guys. I'm with you. So my point is, guys, you studied your wives, you know your wives, you share at them. You showed them the visions. You promised them. You showered them with love. Then why am I here? Why do we need to have this topic when in the beginning you knew what you were doing? You knew what you needed to do. All that I'm saying is that there is no expect in love. I'm not an expert of your wife. I'm not an expert of your relationship. You know it. You strategically went for it. But at the end of the day, guys, they saw something in you that made them say yes. I'm not one to come here and talk about, guys, these are 10 points that a man should do for his wife. Yeah, make sure that they've got 1, 2, 3, make sure they've got 1, 2, 5, and to make sure that they're not on Facebook for the longest time, you should be doing this. I'm not here for that. Who wears the pants in the house?
Amen.
A man. A man wears pants in the house. You initiated all this. And nobody said it's going to be easy. And nobody said, hey, look, when it comes to love, everything will fall into place. If we can remember what you did, Moshela, your person, when you proposed to your person. Because they said yes to that. Mina kwami madoda. Ngikhuluma namadoda ngisho. Ngikhuluma namadoda ngisho. I'm speaking to men, right?
Yes.
Okwami as a man is to say, "Toki boots lakho tsotsi. Ugcwale ibhruku lakho." Put on your boots, wear your pants, fill them up, guys. Because at the end of the day, it's all about that.
What does it mean though?
What does it mean to is to be there for your wife? I mean, the question that you're asking me, it is answered. It's answered by Ephesians. And right there where I highlighted, giving himself up, it means you give your all. Give yourself. When you sheltered your wife, your wife, you gave your all. You didn't even think about it. It's hard, guys. It's not easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not with my wife as much as the gentleman here 20 years. I mean, I was born 20 years ago. But it's not easy, guys. The finance part of it, it's not easy because it comes to play. Even back in the days when our forefathers were hunting, Look at it this way. Our forefathers were hunting. They had to run after an animal that is living, that is running. It's not easy. Versus our mothers who had to go to the garden and pick up umroho that is there. But they took time to bring it up. It's not easy. They will bring more umroho than you. Because at the day, you only caught a rabbit. You didn't catch a buffalo. It's not easy. And it doesn't get easy. But we need to man up. It's all about being there. I mean, if you can read this verse, and can you read the verse, guys? Then it will unravel other things. One, two, three. Husbands.
Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church, and gave himself up for her to make her holy clean, and by the washing of the water through the way, and presented her to himself, and radiant church without stain or wrinkle, or any other blemish, but holy and blameless. In the same way, husbands ought to love their wives as their bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. After all, no one ever hated their own body, but they feed and care for their body, just as Christ does the church.
There's other versions at the end, it says, just as Christ died for the church. There was work that was put in. Let's take Adam and Eve. Adam was the first man on earth. And God said, Adam, take care of this garden. Everything was sweet. Everything was happening. He had it all. He had it all. Up until they took a rib out of him, which was very painful, I should presume. Took out the rib to make him a helper that he asked for, that he prayed for. Because Adam asked God for a helper. Hey, God, I'm bored. Yeah, you're saying I've got everything here, but I'm bored. Took out a rib that was painful. But after Eve, there's a part that God says to Adam Wuti, everything that you do, you shall sweat for it. You shall sweat for it. Now that is God talking to Adam, telling him, Wuti, as from now on, you shall sweat for it. It's not going to be that easy anymore. It means being there, showing up, working that garden. I'm sorry I didn't come to talk about the 10 steps of making your wife fall in love with you once again. But I'm not talking to the wives, I'm talking to the men. It's not easy. And it won't be easy. But at the end of the day, it is our duty to make sure that our wives are cleansed and holy. They are not wrinkled. They don't marry. It is our job. They are not with blemish. protect your wife from everything else. So that when they do stand in public, that is your rose, imbali yakho leyo, that with no blemish. I'm not an expert in love, guys. I'm not an expert in your wife. But one thing that is common is the vision that you showed them, the promises that you promised them. It's all about the efforts, nothing else but what you put in. Because at the end of the day, you will make promises. I will fix that sink. It's my sink to fix. Look, if you have promised, make an effort to fix it. Make an effort to fix it. The dreams that you have of your family, they will follow. The moment you married my wife, born my Lula, right? Grew up my Lula up until her teens. And that's what she knew. I married her into the Dubula family. She had to change her surname to the Dubula family. I had to introduce her to the Dubulas. I had to take her through the ropes of what the Dubulas do. I can happily say she's a Dubula fully, although she can't speak Xhosa at the present moment. I blame myself for it. She can't speak Xhosa. She's a baby.
Oh.
Yes. And believe me, for her, I had to learn the language. I forgot about English, Lesotho. Mara, once I'm angry, we revert to his. So at the end of the day, it's all about those things, guys. Being there, the efforts that you put in. I'm not going to be talking about any other thing, guys, but for us to man up. And I left his proposal at the last point. Can you share how you proposed to your wife?
Just because this young man, I'm going to expand a little bit to the. I always tell them that normal version, so.
I want the normal version.
And okay, the normal version is when I went to my wife. Well, actually, I went with a buddy that went to go visit there. I'm like, I like this girl, she's a sister. Then we went out, and I started to like her. And then I invited her to my brother's parties and things like that. And then I asked her, I would like to date you. And she said, you want to date me, come meet me at church. But by then, I must just tell you, I was a police reservist. Okay? Now, I was working with guys, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, police reservist. I'm almost like a policeman. So she says, if you want to meet me, come to church. It took me about 6 months of going to church before she said, not yes yet, because I had to get to a second point. I asked her, I want you to be my girlfriend, but know this, if you're gonna say yes, you're going to get married in a year, engaged in a year from now, and after that, a year from then, you are gonna get married. So if you say yes now, we're not gonna even discuss the other things. You know it's yes, 1, 2, and 3. She said, we'll have to think about it, but still come visit me at church. You know when she said yes, about a year later, after I've proven myself that I can go to church. And you know what the sad thing about it is? If I had not done that, you guys most probably not would have seen me today. No, seriously, you would not see me today. I think she changed my life dramatically, and I never told her this, but that thing that she said, come visit me at church, has changed my life the other way around. And from that point onward that I became involved in the church, I became engaged in the church, and then ultimately I gave my heart to Christ. In a serious note, who of you have ever backslidden? Who of you ever went down? Like you follow Christ and then you go down and then you go up again? That was me. But you know what my wife did? When I did this and I met her, I went like that and I went straight to the roof. So that's how I met my wife, by her forcing me to come to church. Nice, eh?
Thank you, thank you. But my point goes back to the very same point I already made, that it was straightforward. We're getting engaged in a year, we're getting married after that. And that's what we promised our wives. And it's not easy. I'll keep repeating this. Because even in the Bible it says, be strong and courageous. We're talking about such moments.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And it's not going to get easy. But the efforts that you put in, because you knew from that moment, when you prayed about the wife, you knew what you want, this and this and this, so that you will marry that person. You intentionally did that. Now, why do we intentionally stop doing what we did when we shared our wives? Because we intentionally stopped.
Yeah.
We became too busy. We became too consumed with the life, running after the life. The time that we shared, we spend it on other things now. I'm guilty of PlayStation. I play a lot of PlayStation. The time that we allocated to them when we shared at them, the efforts that we allocated when we shared at them, the words that we said to them when we shared at them. Now we put them to mute. Because your wife will always dress up for you. And you say, oh, I'll get a lot of raw food. Tell her she looks beautiful. Don't mute it. Because at the end of the day, it's what you did in the beginning that she said yes to. So along the way, we tend to forget what we did in the beginning. The pain that Adam went through for him to have a helper. We tend to forget it. But who is the man? Who is the man?
Can I ask a question?
You can ask the question.
Okay. You said your wife, tell her when she's beautiful.
Yes.
Okay. So you tell her and she says, this old dress, it's nothing, but that's not the thing. So I bought flowers, roses to be specific, yellow ones and red ones and the pink ones. Every day of the week, every week, once a week, on a Tuesday, about 150 rands worth of roses, people by the robot. I did it for 8 months, without fail. 8 months. 8 times 150 times 4. You know what my wife asked me on the 8th month, that last week of the 8th month? Why didn't you give me the money? I'm asking, and there's a reason why I'm asking this. can you please answer me? Because I thought I was doing the most. Even her auntie that came here and her friends that came here, it's like every week, like, you get so many flowers, if only I could. And at the end of the 8 months, he asked me, why didn't you give me the money? I could have bought me shoes. Please help me.
Like I said, I'm not an aspect of your wife, but at the end of the day, it's all about knowing your wife. It's all about learning your wife.
Eh? No.
Now you give the money.
In fact, and I'm happy that you asked it. I told her that's the last day that I bought you flowers. Seriously, and since then I've not bought her flowers. It's about 5 years ago. I've not bought her flowers.
So you give her the money?
No, not that even. As if she took a thing within me, a knob, and she turned it off. I mean, I thought I was doing something great. I mean, girls like flowers. And it's like, if it's there, it's like, no, I've been bought it. He buys for me every week. It's like, oh, you're great. Okay, but no, why didn't you buy me, why didn't you give me the money? I could have bought these shoes.
But now my question is to you, was it her asking for those flowers in the beginning? Or was it your thought to say, let me buy her flowers?
I wanted to do something beautiful and romantic. No, the movie's not so. It's beautiful and romantic. And to run like this.
You know I've been running away from that.
No, the movie says it's romantic.
You've been running away from that.
You give her one flower, she goes, ooh, I thought give her a whole bunch. You go, oh, why didn't you give me the money?
Where I come from, my church, my dad is a pastor of the Assemblies of God. You can't just go share a He has to go through Muruti. I have to go tell my pastor. He has to organize that pastor. Then they call us to have pastor when we sit down. So it was not that easy that day. So I didn't have, because I heard what you said about even to even tell us that we have a year of preparing us to get him. We didn't have time for that. When I went there, I knew I had to know that Africa's and I'm getting married. That's it. So even if you, what I'm trying to say is that if you say you want to know a person through, I believe you just need to tell God about it and tell God that I think this is my time. I'm ready for it. And because you end up, there were people that were ended up going different ways because of they didn't have time. So I believe I understand the time, but I believe that some of the things we just need to tell him and say, Lord, give it to him. And as to say, there's no expecting love here. Love has to, if I could ask here, when was the last time did you tell your wife that you love her?
Some of us almost every day.
Some, yeah, I hate my brother, you're fine.
You said something, didn't say it.
No, you have to.
No, I know that. I'm just giving an example. Not that I don't tell my wife that I love her. But some of the things, we are the ones. Like, as he says, that when he has dressed, just tell her that, no man, you look smart, man. You're beautiful. And some of those things, they create more love, that you become more close to each other. Those are actually.
But just on that last story, I forgot to do it like for 3 or so many weeks because things were just hectic. So the one day I sent her a message, I love you, she's like, what do you want?
We end up relaxing and forgetting. So those things are really more important to us than we need to do. We need to just keep on keeping it, telling them that, hey man, you look smart, I love you. Do it, give it advice. And
It's not a good thing to do.
What?
It's not so good because then they keep on buying. No, then they keep on buying as well.
Buying what?
Clothes, if you tell them they look beautiful in one, then they're going to buy another one after that. Guys,
if you don't appreciate them, we are going to have a serious problem. Remember, there are also vultures outside there.
Yeah.
So if she's not getting the compliment in the house and she's getting those compliments outside, which means she will end up see something which she does not see in the house.
Okay.
It's going to be easy for her to be tempted because every time John is saying, yo, you look beautiful, your hairstyle is very nice, and in the house I'm not doing those things.
Yeah. You know what you're saying. We once had an argument with the guys to say, does your wife wear your style or wear outside style? Because if you compliment your wife, then they know, okay, my guy likes this. But if somebody outside compliments them, who do they have in mind when they dress up? They have that person in mind to say, if I dress up like this, they like it outside. So it is all about inside. So if your wife is not dressing up your style,
on to the point of to continue appreciating your wife. I think, especially speaking for myself, the challenge becomes when we as men, we have an obligation of providing to our wives. And that it usually overclouds, or rather it takes all the effort that we have, which makes us forget to appreciate. If I know that I need to provide to my family, I need to make sure that my family has what is required. That becomes my main mission. If that one is not right, I cannot look at anything else. Maybe that is just my thinking, or maybe that's how most men think, I'm not sure. But speaking for myself, I am on a mission to provide for my family. So if I'm unable to do that, or rather if I see a threat on that, I'm going to focus on that threat, and I'm going to neutralize that threat until I make sure that my family is provided for. Now, providing for my family doesn't necessarily mean that I go to work and get all the money. But then also, how do I support her in her work? Also, that is providing for my family, because I make sure that also whatever she brings to the family is going to provide for us. But then if there are any issues from her work that deters her to do her work, it is a threat to me. So for me, I then focus on those things. It is then I forget to say, you look beautiful. I forget to say, let's go out. Because for me it is, but you know we have bills. Those kind of conversations, they also come up. But by saying, let's say she wants flowers every week. And I go like, but we still need to pay for that thing. So that logic as well, it is also terrible, especially with men. That we are very logical. But for women, there are emotions that need to be taken care of. But for me, it is, but doesn't it make sense? Like, the money has to come from somewhere. And if we don't go to a restaurant more often, it means we are going to have petrol for the whole week. And you'll be able to go to work, and I'll be able to go to work, and we're going to eat for that month. So it is a challenge as men, because there is loving your wife and there is providing for the family.
Yeah. You know what? I also compare with Master here, right? You know what? I mean, it's life. As we grow, Mr. Dubula. I met my wife 11 years ago. Okay, back then I had no kids. Responsibilities were minimal. Okay, 11 years later, 2 kids, school fees to pay, mortgage.
Congratulations.
You know, I'm just saying. Things that that I have now, versus compared to what I didn't have. I'm just saying in terms of life responsibilities and all. I mean, when he talks about logic, you know what? I rather save money now, so that at least I can have enough money for petrol for the whole month. Things like that. I mean, it doesn't mean if you don't buy flowers, I'm telling you, So depending, we have love language, essentially, you know. And me, I'm also a traditionalist, you know, whereby, you know, it's a cooling booty in the provider. And you know, my aunts and all that, you'll have them every now and then, but doesn't mean booty. Those are the actual things, you know, booty. Who beggars on the bed. You know, there's other things as well that we must, you know, that are more important, you know, equally important in the booty, keeping us off and all that. So, yeah.
Can I read this quickly? Anne? And funny enough, it's sent by somebody in this group. Ego says, once everything falls into place, I will feel peace. Right? Spirit says, find your peace, and then everything will fall into place. Ego says, once everything falls into place, I will find peace. Spirit says, find peace, and everything will fall into place. As much as the verse that we all like to quote, that says, seek thy kingdom of God and everything shall follow. Why are we running after these things when everything is here?
Thank you very much. And I will agree with the two gentlemen that this level of rationality is what gets most of us into trouble. Because more often you then rationalize, like you from where you are. You see, when you began, you said you are the man, and you must wear your boots, and that wearing the boots now comes with that level of responsibility to say, if you have now to do the checks and balances, there are certain things that you would want to do, but now as and when the responsibility increases in terms of your obligations, especially on the resource, because one of the things that you will more often you will find that our wife needs, it's more of going out, maybe to have dinners and all of that.
Yep.
It's more often maybe getting things for them in the shops and all of that. It is impractical in the times that we are living in that you will always have this money to be able to do all of that. At a certain point in life it was easy, especially at the beginning when you were proposing. I recall at the time, I mean, my level of responsibility was very minimal. I was always there. We will go out as often as without even counting, because now there was no level of responsibility. But now, as and when now you grow and now there's children now in place, now you have to now strike this balance of providing for her and also providing also for the rest of the family and feeding all these bills. But I think, I'm not sure how we can be able to, because this logic, when you place it at home, it's never acceptable. And it come across as if now you have suddenly changed. You are now this different person who now, you no longer like the wife, because you are no longer able to do as often as you should. I'm not sure how maybe others can then be able to guide us at that level to say, perhaps this is how you, like you said, no one is an expert, but perhaps the others who are able to strike that balance, because this level of competition of resources is there as you grow in life.
Yeah. Okay. As you talk about this, you all took photos, right? Besides, I've eaten time to the next topic. So just to quickly wrap up with this answer, guys. Then I am done. My name is Ayanda Dubula. Thank you very much for bringing me your ears.
Before you close, Dr. Love, this gentleman, I like what he said. He said, before all this, he was impressing him. Before they had kids, before the bond, before all the responsibilities. So before everything, who came first? Gentlemen, your wife came first before all responsibilities. Irrespective of the hardness of life, remember what came first. And you must look after what came first in order for you to be able to look after what came after her.
As I take my photo.
And also to say, maybe to add also to that, that you know, sometimes some of these things don't have to cost money. You see, women like talking. They want to talk to us. So the nice thing about going to a dinner is to enable her to talk. So what I found works for me sometimes, if things are not so well at home, is just to go around for it. If I don't have money also for dinner, just to go around driving and then we talk as we drive. So initially we leave home, she's not talking. And then it's fine, I just keep quiet. Then we drive around, then eventually she starts talking and talking and talking. The more she talks, the better she feels, then everything goes back to normal.
But I know why that is, Joe. In her mind, it's like, if I don't say something, we're going to drive the whole day. Good point, Joe. Good point. Good one.
Thank you very much, guys, for the time.